What's up, guys? It's Coop C&T Designs again. I'm hitting up another bill, another anti-gun bill. Oh man, the pain just doesn't stop. No, it keeps going. It's coming more and more, and more and more, and more and more. So, let's see where we're at. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's do a screen share as always. Come down here. Get rid of the zoom. Alright, so this is HR 1004. And for HR 1004, we have the revolver, with INS, basically abbreviation for insurance. Because Democrats want you to have insurance, I'm sure paid to them, for owning a firearm. Let's see. We'll go ahead and hang him up in the background up there. Just for giggles, I guess. So this was, let's go back up like we do always and look at the introduction. So this again was on February 11th of 2021. Hey, at least we're out of, well, no, because we're going to have to go back and catch some bills that were actually introduced in January. So, we're moving along. Okay, this is to prohibit the sale of a firearm to, and the purchase of a firearm by, a person who is not covered by appropriate liability insurance coverage. So yes, kids, this is another deal where the government wants you to have insurance to own something like this. Even if this never left your house. If you kept it disassembled, absolutely inoperable, you would have to have insurance for this. And this is clear, just to show you guys. I haven't loaded anything. Chamber's clear. A few times. I love the slide on this gun. I'm going to be showing it off in a couple videos today. If you don't like 1911s, well, I don't know. You're not human, I guess. Alright, so getting into this bill. Maloney, she's another one that just has think tanks full of people from like the Giffords Institute or Giffords Law Center who have these bills just ready to go and they just spit them out. Let's look. Let's see. Okay, Section 1, short title, this act may be cited as Firearms Risk Protection Act of 2021. Now, I'm like a lot of you guys are. Whenever I hear risk protection, I think red flag. And when I originally saw the title of this bill, that's what I thought. Till I go to congress.gov and then I actually get the text of the bill. And understand, for the first, oh God, 6 or 8 months of this administration, they were putting out so many bills that the texts of the bills weren't being posted for weeks at a time. Because they just couldn't keep up. It's crazy, but that's what was happening. So my normal procedure, when I wake up in the morning, get to work, get my coffee, start my computer up, check my emails, and then get to work. But I'd slide over and check out congress.gov and just do a simple search on firearms in the 117th Congress for any kind of legislation. That's my normal morning. I still do that because I want to be informed about what's going on, what's being proposed, what the Congress, the House and Senate are actually doing, and more people need to do that. I mean, here's another rant to go off on. The federal end of this should not mean as much to us as it does right now. Our gun laws for our specific states should be governed by our state constitutions, which most of those, or a lot of those state constitutions, are older than our federal constitution. And we shouldn't be worried about what the Fed's doing so much. But now the Fed has become the governing entity for a lot of this. And they shouldn't be. States are entities in and of themselves and are supposed to govern what happens inside that state and basically have almost treaties with other states so that they can cooperate together. But now the Fed has got so big and so overbroad that they control everything that happens inside of the states. So, getting to this bill, so prohibitions on sale of a firearm and purchase of a firearm by a person not covered by appropriate liability insurance. So this goes in, the first thing they amend is section 922, which is unlawful acts. And they amend that, basically at the end, they add in this whole section of new law. It shall be unlawful for a person to purchase a firearm unless at the time of the purchase the purchaser presents to the seller proof that the purchaser is covered by qualified liability insurance policy. It shall be unlawful for a person to sell a firearm unless at the time of sale the seller verifies that the purchaser is covered by qualified liability insurance. That mentions nothing about an FFL, so that includes personal transfers. I own said item. This is my property. The government has nothing to do with said piece of property. But if I went to sell this to my friend, trade this to my friend, these are transfers. So sell, trade, give, whatever. I have to check and make sure that they have the government mandated insurance. All right. Section III. It shall be unlawful for a person who owns a firearm purchased on or after the effective date of this subsection not to be covered by qualified liability insurance policy. So if they pass this, I would have to run out and figure out who to go get a qualified policy for insurance on my firearms. Doesn't matter whether it's something like this. This is a 22. So this is a squirrel gun. Love this thing. Lever action. I mean, it's a very traditional firearm. I wouldn't be carrying this for self-protection. I wouldn't be using this in most cases for a home defense gun. This is simply a hunting rifle or a target rifle. But I would have to have liability insurance for that 22. All right. B, subparagraph A shall not apply to the purchase or sale of a firearm for the use of the United States or any department, agency. See, what they do is, it drives me nuts. What they do is any law that they pass, gun laws or others, they always have to have a carve out to where whatever the government does is not covered by that law. There's always a carve out. There's always an exception for them, but not for you. You're the plebe. You're covered underneath it, not them. In paragraph 1, the term qualified liability insurance policy means with respect to the purchaser of a firearm, a policy that provides liability insurance covering the purchaser specifically for loss resulting from use of the firearm while it is owned by the purchaser. And, let's see, let me slide this down a little bit just so I can, oh, shit, I lost it. Get back down here. Okay, losses resulting, and is issued by an insurer licensed or authorized to provide the coverage by the state insurance regulatory authority for the state in which the purchaser resides. So they want to regulate this much like car insurance and other insurances to where it is very much state specific. So these insurance companies, which I'm sure will be behind something like this because it forces you to get a product and coverage from the insurance companies, which makes them more money. Oh man, this is going to drive me up a freaking wall. It's just crazy how far they want to just climb right inside of your personal life on something that this has never hurt anybody. It's never been a danger to anybody. Used properly, this thing is awesome. God knows how many thousand rounds I've got through this thing. And that Colt runs flawless. It eats everything I put in it. It does not care. It's got a healthy appetite. But it's never hurt anybody. Why should I have to have insurance on a product or a tool that I own? That's like saying I have to have insurance on my damn hammer. Oh, man. Alright, let me slide down here because then we're going to get into, alright, section 924. Where do I have that pulled up? Alright, 924. So this is penalties. Let's see. Let me slide down here. A bunch of crap that shouldn't even exist. Alright. So, 924. This is adding in new text into 924. Whoever violates section 922AA, which is what we just read about having to have the insurance, shall be fined not more than $10,000. So if I don't get the government mandated insurance on a product that is an inanimate object and not hurting anybody, or my squirrel gun, or whatever, if I own Granddaddy's revolver, which I do have my Granddaddy's revolver, it's an H&R 22 revolver. It's back in the cabinet somewhere. But if I own that, now I have to get the government mandated insurance, and there's no telling how much they're going to charge for that, because the lawsuits are going to fly once that happens. Remember, Sheila Jackson Lee's bill, I have to pay $800 a year to the Attorney General for my insurance. $800 a year off the rip to own this. It's like the machine gun ban, guys. Realize machine guns aren't actually banned. The new manufacture of machine guns that are transferable is banned. You can own machine guns all day long. There are over 500,000 registered machine guns in the United States at this time that are transferable. There's at least that many, more than likely, that are not transferable, that are post-dealer samples. So all they did was they priced the majority of the U.S. citizens out of the market. That's all they did with it. And that brings me to Massey. You know, he posted that, and I did some video on it the other day that mentioned him. You know, he did the Christmas picture where all of his family's holding guns. I've got no problems with that. He's holding an M60. I've got no problems with that. What I have problems with is they won't get rid of the 34 NFA that would allow everybody who is capable of owning one to own one without having to pay $40,000 for it. They just priced most people out of the market. That's all they did. That's what governments do. If you think this insurance they're proposing right here is going to be cheap, you're out of your damn mind. Because remember, the Attorney General is going to have to approve this. And if you get caught with a firearm without that insurance, that's $10,000. If you can't pay $10,000, guess what's going to happen? Your ass is going to go to jail. They will send people with guns to your home to collect you and process you to jail. Or you'll get caught out on the street going about your everyday business, pulled over. Oh, wow, you own a firearm. Where's your insurance? Don't have insurance. Well, guess what you get? Handcuffs. Tell me these people don't want you in prison just because you own an inanimate damn object. God, I love this thing. That slide is beautiful. And the trigger. It's just, oh. And like I said before, I'm not a trigger snob, but the trigger on that is absolutely amazing. But back to the video. Oh, it just kills me, man. And they'll pass something like this through. If they can't pass it through in the form of this bill, what they will do is they will add it into another omnibus bill where they just basically take a bunch of legislation that they can't get passed on its own and they shove it into another container and then they get it all passed at once. Safe Streets bill, whatever it was, I've had that one pulled up earlier. Another omnibus bill in like 90 something. Yeah, they just crammed a bunch of their stuff into one bill and then passed it all underneath this Safe Streets Act or whatever it was. These people are dirty as hell. If you went through Congress, most of them couldn't pass a damn background check. But here we are, we're letting these idiots make gun laws. And I'm going to have a little fun now that I've figured some things out. There's one hearing that I want to do shortly that's on the Spooky Boys, the ghost guns, where I can pause it and make comments on it, because there was some absolute just over the top lying in that hearing that I really want to get into. But and this goes to the House Judiciary Committee. These people are crazy. And why the vast majority of Americans can't see what these people are doing baffles me. I mean, I realize we all have lives. We all have to go to work. We all have hobbies. And not everybody will do like I do. Put a hearing on your phone and listen to it all day so you can see what these people are doing in real time. Not everybody's going back and listening to oral arguments from district courts or the Supreme Court and listening to how far these judges will go to overstep their authority. I understand that. But you don't have to commit a whole hell of a lot of time to see what's going on and realize these people are after you. These people aren't anti-gun. They're not against violence. These Democrats are just subcontracting their violence out to the ATF, the FBI, the police forces, your sheriffs. They're just subcontracting that violence out to them. You can't pay $10,000, you're going to jail. Don't have the insurance, can't pay $10,000, you are going to jail. They are going to use force, the point of a gun, to put you in handcuffs and then put you in a place where you have no rights anymore. But people don't want to pay attention to that. It's the same way people don't realize that when you walk into stores these days, the shelves are a hell of a lot more bare than they look. Just pay a little bit of attention to it. So, anyway, that's my rant on that one, guys. I'm going to be hitting up, I think, 2 or 3 more bills today. And then we might have some fun and watch some hearings and actually do a little bit of commentary on them. So anyway, y'all be cool. This is Coop CNT Designs. I'm out. Later.